Welcome back to this series. I'm Kamal, and in this series we will learn all about motivating your children from home. In this series you will not only learn about the aspects that build and sustain motivation in your child. Each week I will provide you with practical strategies that you can start using today to help motivate your child from home. Joining me today means that motivating your child to learn is something that is interesting and important to you. So, welcome. If you haven't already, make sure to check out the first videos in this series. I will link them above. In last week's video, we spoke about the importance of attention, how this is the first step in building motivation in your child. And thank you for sharing the pictures of the creative spaces that you have designed with your children for their learning. It must have been a fun family activity. In today's video, we will take a look at Keller's second condition for motivation, which is relevance. Make sure to listen till the end, as I will share with you my 4 strategies for establishing relevance in your child's learning. Now, relevance involves ensuring that the content that they are being introduced to has value to your child's learning. This includes using the child's learning styles and interests to introduce the new learning material, as well as bridging between what your child already knows about the topic or what he or she is about to learn. As we did in last week's video, we heard from Michael Despazzi as he shared his ideas on empowering parents. This was all part of the HMH Think Digital First virtual series. And today, we will hear more about how intrinsic motivation is critical for your child's development. Michael, over to you.
What are best practices in engaging internal motivation? Now that I've sold you on that. Well, one of the best practices is celebrating and engaging, integrating your child's interests. What are they interested in? Use that in teaching. So maybe they're interested in drawing. Well, bring drawing into the lessons. If they're learning about something, let them make a drawing. In fact, it's interesting because in learning, teachers will often have students make diagrams that show how learning relates. And you can do the same thing with your children. Have them make drawings which shows what they've learned. You can also improve internal motivation by showing how what your child is learning is relevant and important to the real world, especially their everyday world. You're not learning for some esoteric, distant reason. You're learning because it makes sense, because this will impact you, how you understand the world, either in distant or ideally in local connections. Do not overlook the local connections on what is going on in your child's immediate surroundings. Don't overprescribe, and I often tell this to educators. We have a tendency of doing that. We have a tendency of over-defining what that experience will be. Let it flow. See where your child is going, and then facilitate essential changes in that path if you detect them. Don't have a rigid framework set out that they have to go from A to B to C to D to E to F. They go from A to B, and maybe at B, they get to choose the next pathway based upon what their interests might be, based upon what local experiences might offer. So think about it. Keep the flexibility in. And that really speaks to self-directed options. Remember, you need to get your child's buy-in to this whole experience. They need to be self-motivated. It needs to be internal motivation. And this comes out, this rises up from self-directedness.
Well said, Michael. So here are my 4 strategies to develop relevance in your child's learning. The first strategy is to use your child's interests to facilitate learning. So think about when your child is learning math. Allow your child to draw and represent what he or she is learning in a lab book. In history, for example, You could have your child design an infographic or even a magazine to share what they have learned actually about the ancient Greeks maybe. My second strategy, connect topics to their real life. A good example could be a science lesson. Everything around us is built because of science. Even the devices that you're currently watching this video on was created using scientific information and knowledge. But don't limit yourself to science. Use newspaper articles, YouTube videos, and even word events to have your child explore content through a real-world lenses. Your child will certainly gain a better perspective and find additional value in what they are learning when this is connected to their lives. My third strategy, give them the choice in their learning pathway. Be sure to ask them what they already know and what they would like to learn more about in the topics. Let them set their own learning goals. Yes, the content and standards that are laid out should give you an understanding of what needs to be covered, but the path can be certainly directed by what your child sees or thinks is most important and valuable. If this is done, your child will take better ownership of what they are learning and why they are actually learning. My fourth and last strategy is presenting an alternative view. You can grab your child's attention in presenting statements or facts that are opposite to what your child knows or even believes to be true. Why is this so important? Well, for one, it is essential that they are presented with a different view or point of information to truly grasp and understand. It will also allow for better discourse and discussions. So, there you have it. My 4 strategies for building relevance in your child's learning. I must warn you though, there are probably going to be times where the content your child is learning is not relevant to them, and this is pretty normal. Hence, we need to allow the child to explore the new content in a way that is relevant and interesting to them. And remember, relevance can help your children realize how useful all the knowledge can be, as well as help them see how the unrelated content fits together into the scheme of things. This will give them reasons why new content will be useful for them even later in the future. Only then, your child will understand the importance of what they are actually learning. I would love to hear your thoughts and your experiences on building relevance in your child's learning. So please add to the comments below or even email us, and the email address has been added to the description below this video. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and to turn on the bell notification to stay up to date with all our new content in the series and more. Thank you and see you next time.
Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the HMH International Content Cares YouTube channel. If you're looking for more content, click on the video to the right of your screen. Welcome to our global community.